Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is another yap session. Today's another chit chat video. Gonna keep it real, gonna keep it unscripted. Lately, that's been the only way I've been able to show up on YouTube. For today's video, I'm gonna be talking about one of the ways that I actually gained a lot of insight and information on how I can help move myself towards achieving goals, committing to the process, knowing how to pivot or knowing what to do and how to pivot if I am all of a sudden faced with a distraction or if something takes me off course. And it's so cool because this can apply to any area of life, not just when it comes to healing or just like a different eating regimen. It can come to if you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, try to be a healthier person, trying to build a new habit, trying to unlearn a habit, everything across the board. So I started to seek out like self-discipline books, and I actually did read one, I think by the same author. It was online though, so I didn't really like, it was great when I was reading it, but I'm like old school. I need a physical book. I need to highlight, I need to underline. This has been such a great book because I've actually taken the principles out of it, the lessons, the learnings, and applying like my real life problems and situations to it so that it can help me. Okay, I won't gatekeep. I'll never gatekeep. How to Trick Yourself into Doing Things You Hate by Peter Collins. Okay? Sorry, Peter Holland. I promise I read the book. How to Trick Yourself into Doing Things You Hate by Peter Holland. I read and learned his other books, but I saw this, read the synopsis on Amazon, and I purchased immediately. And I like it because it's such like it's an easy read. It's very practical. Nothing he's saying in here is like out of like the ordinary. If anything, I think what it did is it helped me because it put terms and detailed often things that I live through and I don't even realize why I'm doing it. But when you read it, it's like, yeah, that's what I do when distractions come, or yeah, that's the reason why I procrastinate a lot. Like, it's written and it's explained to you, it's made clear so that you can actually be aware of your behaviors when you're in them. And I like it because this little note here says, use psychology, self-discipline, and neuroscience to suffer less. Because in life, guess what? There's things that you're not going to want to do. Every day there's something that I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't have to do this. But you do it, right? And especially when it comes to achieving a goal or like even setting a goal, there's going to be a lot of things that you don't want to have to do, but you need to make that goal happen. But one thing that I can do is I can establish a structure that either makes it a lot easier for me to do the things I don't want to do, or makes it so that it's just that much more bearable to do the thing that I don't like to do, right? And at this juncture of my life, how can I make this thing that I like to do or don't like to do a non-event in my life in order to do what I have to do? That's what this book is about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a section and we're going to dive deep on it because it has all these gems, and I want you to start to think about how you can apply this to anything you're working on. A healing journey, a goal that you have, how to improve in your day-to-day life, how to improve your relationships, whatever it is. Let's get into it. This chapter is about staying the path. So maintaining momentum with a goal that you've created. And that's always been my bottleneck. That's always been my Achilles heel. Here it says process, not outcome. Outcome matters, but process is how you get there. So focus on what you can do today or tomorrow. Sounds pretty straightforward, pretty like common sense, right? But the thing is that a lot of us get very distracted very easily with the outcome. And we forget that the process is what leads to the outcome. Take, for example, myself. When I was doing the Candida diet, when I was doing all these things, I was focusing on who I wanted to become so much that I forgot that I had to show up every little bit, every day, doing the things to lead up to that future shrieks that I saw. I didn't love the process. I hated the process. I'd ignore the process and I just wanted to just get there already. And it was causing me so much frustration, so much anger, so much avoidance. because I just wasn't there yet. And it would just always result in me just giving up too soon or getting, annoyed. So I like that there's a focus here. But he says more. Even though we may be inspired by an endpoint we sincerely want, the only way to bring ourselves to that endpoint, is to focus our actions and efforts in the here and the now. Being too outcome-oriented can hamper our ability to ever achieve that outcome. And then he highlights that you should be mindful on the kind of goals you set. And he explains how these two different goals highlight one versus the other, outcome versus process. Now, outcome-oriented is lose 10 pounds. But process-oriented is eat 1,500 calories a day for 2 months. Now, when you hear those two, what sounds more appealing to you? So the idea is that you want to make your goals more process-oriented so that we can then focus on the actions, the doing, the what we do and how we show up each day. Continuing, he says, action-oriented goals keep you firmly in the realm of practical possibility. The irony is when we focus on the process, not the outcome, we are actually maximizing our chances of achieving the outcome. Is that set yourself goals, but keep them action-oriented. Commit to only those things that are genuinely in your control. Okay, I'm gonna stop again. Think about if you're struggling with not eating chocolate bars every time you see them. Your goal is to curb your sugar cravings and, eat more natural sugars. A better way to phrase it could have been, I want to eat more vegetables with my meals. So what can that look like? Every day then I can make sure anytime I have a meal and sit down that at least quarter of my plate, I'll start small, quarter of my plate has like some sort of steamed veggie on there. And as long as every day I show up and I just hit that goal of making sure I eat veggies with every meal, over time, you're going to find this small action, this small little doing will help build even more habits and more healthy behaviors or traits with it. So it's like all of a sudden you're eating so many veggies, you're getting so much fiber, you're full after your meals, you don't even have that sugar craving anymore, or you can go without it. Maybe you're noticing like, okay, veggies is actually really good. I found new ways to cook it. Let me increase that from just being a quarter of my plate to a half of my plate. So it's just like, what are the small things that you can do to make your goal more achievable, more accessible, and how you can reframe your goal from being outcome oriented into being process oriented so that you can establish what actions you can repeat on a daily basis in order to lead up to that process that eventually leads up to that goal. I'm trying to really make a lot of my goals more process oriented now so that they're a lot easier to do, to complete. And even if I don't hit that goal every day, that's okay. Just keep showing up and doing it again and again each day. And hopefully this will reframe your mind from making these wild, outlandish goals that are so scary that you subconsciously don't believe you can achieve into something more process-oriented, action-oriented, so that it's way more doable and realistic for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video, this little chat session from this book, which drops so many gems. But yeah, how to trick yourself into doing things you hate. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, comment, let me know what you thought. Do you agree? Do you disagree? How do you name your goals? How do you stick to them? What helps you out? Because this really helped me out. So let me know what works for you. Okay, see you again in the next video.